Sunt Ramona Popescu, gazda voastră în această seară la Design Perfect. De fapt, voi fi gazdă pentru 2 săptămâni, pentru că sunt în Mount Shasta, într-o călătorie de cercetare. După cum știți, eu am și cercetările mele personale, care țin de evoluția mea personală, însă se ivesc oportunități divine în astfel de călătorii. Am ocazia să cunosc oameni deosebiți și dacă toți au aranjat așa lucrurile, atunci am spus să profit și să vă prezint și vouă un om absolut minunat, un om despre care aș vrea mai întâi să vorbesc câteva cuvinte. Este un speaker internațional, este autoare, este channeler în transă, vom vorbi despre asta, este consultant galactic pentru companii care lucrează preponderent în mediu. Și aici ea ajută foarte mult în această zonă pe transmiterea de informații împreună cu un grup galactic, vom vorbi și despre acest lucru. Vorbim despre îmbunătățirea unor produse și tehnologii care există pe piață sau lansarea altora noi, care să ne ajute să trăim într-o armonie cu natura și să menținem un spațiu curat în care trăim. Este channeler în transă pentru Consiliul de Lumină de pe Pleiade, Arcturus și Sirius. Vom vorbi, ne va explica mai multe despre acest lucru, de asemenea channeler în transă cu Arhanghelul Mihail, pe care noi îl cunoaștem foarte bine, dar și cu Adama din Telos o avea ocazia să vorbim mai multe despre acest lucru, mai ales despre channeling. Are o experiență foarte îndelungată în ceea ce privește facilitarea contactelor galactice. Din 2010 facilitează astfel de contacte cu peste 100 de grupuri, cu intenția de a vizualiza și de a interacționa cu civilizații diferite. Este foarte importantă intenția atunci când stabilești un contact. Este și consultant pentru Home Times Magazine, dar dacă ar fi să ne întindem așa, îmi pierde foarte mult timp. Așa că o să urez în engleză și vom trece în limba engleză. Bun venit, Asara Adams. Good evening, Asara.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for being here. I attended your classes this weekend and your online classes about galactic contacts, and I'm very honored to have you here and very happy that you agreed to share from your experience and from your story to these wonderful people who are watching us. Good evening.
Thank you for having me. It's quite an honor also to connect with you here in Romania and wherever else you are watching this, so thank you.
As I said in many times, we are not gods when we come here, and any professional starts from somewhere, and I think it would help us a lot. We'd be inspired also by your story if you would agree to share a little bit from it with us.
Sure. Yes, my pleasure. I was born into a spiritual family in Germany. And my parents were very spiritual, very psychic, but they were also Catholic at the same time, and so it was kind of like not openly psychic, but they knew wherever I was all the time. And when I was a teenager, that was not a lot of fun, trying to go out at night in discotheque or something, and they just knew where I was always.
Wow.
I couldn't sneak in when I was late coming home. But when I was smaller, I had many dreams that were very psychic dreams, and I knew what would happen, and it kind of like scared me. I was too young to handle it really, and I really decided I don't want anything to do with spirituality. I just don't want it. And when I became older and I chose my profession, I chose to become a banker. And
wow.
My parents, they just shook their heads and they said, what have we done wrong with this child? She's becoming a banker of all things. We like more spiritual people. But I had to get away from all spirituality. And when I became older, I came to America, to Florida at first, and I built a very successful real estate investment firm with my husband back then, and it was very successful, and I liked that it was not spiritual at all. And then around 2005, 2006, 2007, I something changed, and I felt a presence in my bedroom at night, and I thought to myself, not again, I don't like the spiritual stuff. And so I just wanted to make it go away, and I went to a psychic medium to make it go away, and she just looked at me and she said, you know, they're telling me actually that you can see who is visiting you, and that they're telling me also it's a relative of yours. And so I said, do you just want more money? I can give you more money if you want that. Just make it go away. I don't want anything to do with it. And she said, yeah, that's not how I work. Either I'm allowed to tell somebody or I'm not. And so I left her because I really still didn't want to connect. And a few weeks later, I still got no sleep because this presence was bothering me all the time. So I went back to her, and I said, I give up. Let's meet whoever that is and
fix this.
And it turned out it was my grandfather who told me, who had passed actually on the day I was born, and he told me that I was not on the right path, really. I wasn't fulfilling my purpose. The real estate business was not what I was meant to do. And I didn't like to hear that, really, because, I thought I'm pretty successful with what I was doing. And he said, this is not what you're meant to do. You're supposed to help people with your gift. You're a spiritual person, and you're supposed to help people with your spirituality. And I'm like, I don't know, I just met you, and I'm gonna keep doing what I know how to do. And he said, oh, but I have to tell you too that your marriage won't last because it's also not the right thing. And I'm like, oh, that's great, really. You just met me and you're telling me all this great news. Everything. And I really didn't want to hear it. And I was stubborn, and a couple of years later, we all know what happened in 2007 and 2008. The financial crisis happened, the bubble burst, and we lost everything. And also my marriage didn't last, of course. It fell apart, just like he said. I lost everything.
Did you remember then?
And I remembered that he was right. And I went back to this lady, and I became an apprentice with her for 2 years, and she taught me to remember everything that I knew, but also to add all the values, really, and how to work with people in a very ethical way, in a very high value way, empowering people rather than let them give away their power to a psychic reader, right?
Yes.
Because we all have these gifts within us, and so it's our job kind of to help each other to discover what they already know and to have more confidence in it. Yeah.
And Mount Shasta, what is Mount Shasta? Why Mount Shasta?
Well, Mount Shasta is one of the most powerful energy centers of the planet, actually, alongside with, say, the pyramids of Giza or Uluru in Australia and or Stonehenge. And it is a powerful energy vortex to begin with, and there is a very strong presence of the Ascended Masters, of the angels, of galactic beings of light, and also of a civilization called Telos.
Telos. Let's talk a little bit about Telos.
Sure.
We know about Lemuria, we know about Atlantis, and we also know that at some point Lemurians went into the earth and they built Telos, the Telosian town, let's say city. Tell us more about Telos.
Yeah.
Because you are working with them somehow.
I'm working with them. When the continents of Atlantis and Lemuria sank, there was a great cataclysm on the earth, which in many cultures is also known as the Great Flood. By the way, like in the Bible and
with the Noah.
Yes, exactly. Noah. And so when the Lemurians kind of like went into the inner earth here underneath Mount Shasta, they had to figure out how to ascend really quickly into the higher dimensions because there was nothing, underneath the mountain in these caverns. And so they ascended really fast, and they figured out how to do that. And so as it is now up to us also to ascend as a human race, really, they're here to help us and to share with us what they have learned. And there are also many humans out here who had a past life in Lemuria or who have a parallel aspect in Telos. Yes, exactly. And so there is this bond and there is this collaboration really with humans and Telosians really, and Adama of Telos is...
Who is Adama of Telos? Because you are channeling Adama
Yes.
of Telos. So Telos now is what we know about Lemuria, but is from inner earth, from Agartha or...
That's correct,
Okay.
yes.
And who is Adama?
So Adama is a little bit the spokesperson for Telos here on the surface, if you will. So he channels through many channelers, and that is a very good thing because he's a very big spirit or very big soul, and he needs to have different representations.
Unique ones.
I don't know, who resonate with people differently, because everybody responds differently to a different personality. And so he comes through many different channelers, and he's also an ambassador in a way between the galactic civilizations of light and the earth civilizations and the inner earth civilizations.
What is the connection between inner earth civilizations and galactic ones?
Yeah. The civilization of Lemuria is actually a mix of different galactic civilizations to begin with. When they have arrived on Earth here, they were comprised of Sirius, the Palladians, Arcturus, Andromedans, and Alpha Centauris, and a few others also.
Yes.
So they are galactic to begin with, and so when they established Telos, they're still galactic.
Yes.
So they're like a galactic representation inside the Earth, and so Adama is like a diplomat who goes in between these civilizations. There are a lot of meetings really, and how everybody from the realms of light can really help Earth ascend, and what would be the best assistance at that time.
How was your first meeting with Adama?
Yeah, Adama.
He was your first, the first being of light, let's say, contacting you, or Archangel Michael?
Well, actually, when I began to channel about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I'm not very good with timelines, please excuse me. But I channeled at first like a group consciousness of light. It was very undefined.
Yes.
I channeled a book and I went on book tour, and as I was giving a regular lecture, all of a sudden I closed my eyes and I thought I only blinked, but for some reason I was gone for 20 minutes. And the audience was really surprised that I was channeling some consciousness, of light that was, sounded good, and so they were really happy with it, but I didn't know. I thought I only blinked my eyes.
Yeah.
So I started out to channel just a group of light beings at first, and then I read the Telos books from Aurelia Louise-Jones.
Yes, we have them published in Romania also.
Oh, lovely. And I was back then still in Florida when I read those books, and the moment I read those books, I knew, oh wow, Mount Shasta this sounds like home. And I have traveled the world. I really have seen a lot of different countries, and nothing ever felt like home, not even where I grew up. It never felt like home. And I just heard that calling of Mount Shasta. And so I came here in 2010. And the moment I arrived here, Adama kind of showed up for me, and he said, well, I've been waiting for you. it's about time you come here. I would like to offer to work with you and through you, and are you ready and available to be of service in that way? And I said, well, of course, yes. And so we began to work together.
This is amazing, because Diane Robbins also is talking about her first meeting with Adama. He's very direct and friendly. And,
he's like a brother.
Yes, that's very nice. What about Ascended Masters? What about them? How do you relate with them? Because also Mount Shasta is a very special place where their energy is very concentrated.
Yes.
Concentrated. How is your relation with these Ascended Masters?
Well, quite a few years before I came to Mount Shasta, actually, I began to assemble my team of light, and part of it was a mixture of Ascended Masters and angels, mostly at the beginning.
Yes.
And
which are your favorite?
Well, on my team,
closer to you.
I have to say, it actually, you're going to be surprised, it's Serapis Bey too, and the Great High Brotherhood. And Saint Germain at some point also introduced himself to me, but I have not really channeled him, but he's a very close companion to me as well. Archangel Michael, of course. He stepped forth very early on, but I didn't channel him. So I channeled really like more of the trance channeling. I channeled Adama, and then Archangel Michael stepped in it eventually too and said, all right, let's bring this a little bit more into the trance channeling. Yes.
Okay, we keep talking about channeling.
Mm-hmm.
And now I would like to say, because I didn't say at the beginning, but I'll have to read, because you studied channeling abilities by IONS, or Institute of Noetic Studies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Founded by the astronaut from Apollo 14.
Yes.
Edgar Mitchell in
That's
1973.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more about this, and tell us more about trance channeling.
Mm-hmm. Well, the IONS Institute, the Institute of Noetic Sciences,
Yes.
Approached me a year ago, maybe 1.5 years ago, and they were looking for 5 channelers from North America to study, to prove to scientists that channeling is actually real, that it exists, and that scientists would actually benefit from connecting with this infinite intelligence.
I'm so happy to hear that. So
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And this institute, like you said, was founded by Edgar Mitchell, the Apollo 14 astronaut. So I've been studied and wired up, and they measured, and they just found that there's something happening in the energy field and also in the brain activity, really, that's different than when we talk normally.
Yes.
So there are different things they measured, and somehow they found that it seems to be channeling, and they took it back, and I don't know what happens after that, but hopefully the scientists will open up a little bit more to this information.
That the same situation happened with channeler of Ramta. It's the same thing with the scientific. The scientists checked everything and so on, and they checked also the
brainwaves.
Yes, and everything. Let's talk a little bit about this kind of channeling, trance channeling. So, what is exactly trance channeling?
Yeah, trance channeling, I would say, trance channeling itself is a category of channeling, and there is no comparison, really. We're not comparing channeling. We don't say one channeling is better than the other. Yes, so some channelers are fully in their bodies, and they are perfectly capable of bringing forth information like you do.
This is a different kind of channeling.
Exactly, and nevertheless it is just as valuable and just as real and pure. I personally prefer not to be in control. I'd like to leave my body. I just leave my body, I go out, and the energy, let's say Adama, comes in, takes over my breath and my heartbeat. So I surrender my life in that moment to whoever I channel. I'm gone. I go to Telos, for example, in that time, or I go...
I wanted to ask you, where are you going during this process?
Yeah, I go to Telos. We switch places, basically. So I go to Telos, or I go to the angelic realm, or I go on board of a ship.
Galactic,
That's right. And I'm gone because I prefer not to be involved. It's for me the easiest to get my mind completely disabled. So my left brain half shuts down. The logical brain shuts down, and the right brain goes into hyperdrive, hyperactivity. Yeah. And it makes it easy for me. And so now I'm able to look down, like from a balcony or wherever I am. I'm able to remember the conversation slightly, like you wake up from a dream. And I
wanted to ask you, do you remember something from the conversation?
Bits and pieces, I do remember. It's like you're in a dream, but the more time passes, I forget. I have to watch it afterwards too, in order to get the message. And while the conversations are happening, I'm learning, because I'm just a human being here on the same journey as everybody else is. And so it's very interesting for me what is being asked and what the answers are. So I'm learning at the same time.
Like an observer.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm far away, but I'm observing it. And whenever they're done, and then they're just gonna go. There's nothing I or anybody else could do to keep them longer. So it's really they're in charge in that moment, because they control my eyes, my breath, my heartbeat. I breathe differently. I breathe more through my diaphragm, and my heartbeat is faster also. So I
heard also the breathing. It's and your way of looking, and I can't wait the people to see if will happen. We'll see next week probably, or you never know who's coming.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you come back from the trance?
Yeah. When I come back, I usually feel a little bit lightheaded. It takes a while for me to really come back and be grounded back into my body. But at the same time, usually in that night, I get all the upgrades, because it's a higher vibrational frequency that's in every cell of my body in that moment for, I don't know, for 20 minutes, 40 minutes. And in that time, there's a lot of upgrades that are happening, because it's adjusting my cells to a higher vibrational frequency.
Yes.
And so overnight, there's a lot of integration that's happening, and I'm still like sometimes humming, and so it's quite interesting, but it takes a little while to integrate sometimes. And
can anyone do that?
Yes, anybody can do it, really, because it is something innately familiar to us, and I really encourage for really everybody or anybody who feels that connection with this kind of work, really understand that this is who we really are. We are meant to bring higher vibrational frequencies through us, even if you're connecting with your higher self or with your I Am Presence, and bring the answers forth. Even if you don't feel comfortable channeling ascended masters or other beings of light, even that is valuable, because it is already of a higher, more evolved nature. And so I encourage everybody to begin to tune in, because it's really about encouraging and empowering everyone to awaken to that, because as we ascend, as then ascended masters, we are meant to connect with our inner guidance, and that is what I really would love for everybody to experience.
I'm so happy to hear you, and you are a teacher also. Yes. You are a facilitator, and during so much time of channeling, what do you think would be the most important messages you would send to the people as a facilitator on spiritual side? What comes in your mind as important things that the people should know, especially the ones who started just open? They just started to open towards spirituality.
Yeah, that it's very important to be present, not to worry about the past or the future. Everything is going to be fine.
Really? Because we hear so many scenarios.
Yes, and you create your own reality.
How?
You are at the center of your own reality by what you focus on, and you are reinforcing the existence of everything by what you focus on. So when we focus on bad things, we continue to reinforce bad things in our world, in our reality, and when we focus on good things, we reinforce good things into our reality. Yes.
What is tell us a little bit about your work, because I know you are teaching many things. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, for example, channeling. Are you teaching about channeling?
Yes.
And you're teaching trance channeling, or any other kind, any kind of channeling? Tell us a little bit about that.
I have a course on my website, and it's a channeling course, and it addresses all levels of channeling. If you just want to learn how to do automatic writing, like channeled writing, I teach that. I teach artists how to paint, how to channel painting. I also teach how to channel just beings of light around you. You don't have to leave your body or do trance channeling. So all levels, all stages of channeling are being addressed in a most joyous way. Joy is at the core of all my teachings. Joy and ease and fun. It's got to be fun.
You look like joy and fun. So
thank you. Yeah.
How do we know that what we receive is authentic?
That's a very good question, and I think it's the biggest question that most people have when they begin to channel. Really, I would recommend to begin asking things that are of no consequence, that are, it doesn't matter if you get it wrong or right? Let's say something, should I take a left turn? Should I take a right turn? Ask and take action. Just follow what you feel guided to do. Take action. And then increase more and more how serious the question is or how important the question is. But work your way up. It's like a muscle that you train.
Yes.
And the more you get confirmation, the more confidence you will have, and the more you will also know what it feels like when it's pure information, when it is really guided, or when it's not, when it's our mind. And it's really important to be in our heart. And so that's the journey of a channeler, to go from the mind down into the heart, really. And so that's my biggest recommendation. Be in your heart and work your way up into more and more important questions and act upon it. Yes? The more we act upon it, the more they know, these higher realms of light. Now, oh, wonderful. They're actually listening, and now we can really help them and help them being of service too.
How can you quiet your mind?
Yeah.
Because this is useful for meditation, for journaling, for anything.
For anything.
What is your technique? Because we want to learn things. And if you can share something from your experience. Wow.
Sure. Well, in the channeling class, I have a few different techniques in how to quiet your mind. It's really important. But it's usually a combination of NLP, of neurolinguistic programming.
We know about that.
So you do a motion in your body, and you can condition your way every time when you count down from 3 to 1. For example, when I channel, you will see that my head goes down, and the moment my head goes down, I used to count down from 3 to 1, and that's my deepest relaxation level. And I would do this over and over and over again. So with NLP, it's important to repeat it many, many, many times at the beginning, and then it becomes less and less necessary, and then it's a muscle memory. That means that whenever my head goes down like this, I'm already, boom, I'm there. So I'm already connected and calm. So you can do this whenever you need to really calm down. So find an emotion with your body and count down, and so they can trigger the relaxation. But there's more. I mean, that would take a little bit longer now to explain, but if it's more in the course, actually.
You can also tell us a little bit about your practices for being more in touch with the spirituality in our life. Because people believe that spirituality is different or is separate than daily life. And actually we meet spirituality everywhere. So, for example, how can they be present? Because it looks like an abstract concept. Be present, just be. How you manage to just be? Well, spirituality is a lifestyle, actually. It is not just like once a week, a 5-minute moment, really. I think the first thing that I would really recommend is if you can take in the mornings, even if it's 2 minutes, really. Actually, I have on my website a 8-minute little meditation that centers you also. Take as much as you can carve out from your morning routine and set the vibrational frequency of the day, and to center yourself, and then it's easier to maintain it throughout the day. So when you find some sort of a meditation practice, something to listen to, something of a higher vibrational frequency to begin with, I think that's a good start to integrate spirituality into your daily life. And then you can add other things to it, like really, what do we watch every day? What do we talk about? What are our conversations like? Do we talk about positive things? Do we praise others? Do we watch positive movies? Do we watch scary movies, right? So it's really it begins with this choice, and also what we eat, right? What are we eating? High vibrational food, or are we eating lower vibrational food? And things like this. It's a combination of many things, but of course, for those of you who really want to become a channeler, it's really a choice to begin a life of higher vibrations, and that is throughout the day, and it addresses every area in our lives, really, to be kind, do no harm, right? Be kind to others, say good things, focus on the positive as much as you can. Don't reinforce what you don't want, enforce what you do want more. Go on vision quests in your mind, visualize, how do you want to feel? Ask yourself throughout the day, how do I want to feel by the end of today? Just this.
is already setting the tone, and continue to channel. Do it. That's the biggest message I can give to those who want to channel or want to want to be a healer or want to do any kind of an expression of being of service. Do it, because the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more energies will flow. Really.
You're a professional channeler. What is the nature of your collaboration with Archangel Michael? Because we didn't talk about Archangel Michael, and he's very known in my country.
Yeah, Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael saved my life many times. I actually had 2 near-death experiences, and as a child, and Archangel Michael was very present at the time, and I had many close moments of dying. So he was very present, more in the background, but very present. And when I began my spiritual work again, he really stepped in first. He was the first one who came forward to say, Asara, I want to take you by your hand and take you through a class of learning how to know what it feels like to work with beings of the light and beings that are not of the light. And he put me through many experiences to understand the difference between the two.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because it's important. Many people are asking, how do I know is a being of light or is something else?
Yeah, at the core of all of the experiences I had, it was the vibration of love, which those beings who are not of the light cannot fake, really, even if they try. So that's the first thing. So Archangel Michael really put me through a class for about a year, where every once in a while I was helping people, and I was shown directly the difference between the vibrational frequencies. And he always told me, just look for the love, look for love, for the love vibration. Is it loving? Is it love? Is it love? Is it love? Or do you feel uneasy? Do you feel not love? Or do you feel not joy? Do you feel disempowered? Do you feel worried? So it was a fine-tuning of how to connect with the highest beings of light, with the highest dimensions.
Calibration at the higher
and so it's very easy now for me to immediately look for that and create that as well. Back then, like 10 years ago or so, it was more of a, well, all the experiences came to me. Now we are in that position where we simply create our experiences of light. We don't even need to go there to the other experiences anymore, because when we raise our vibrational frequencies.
Oh, I would love to ask you questions about that, because in order to have the most pleasant experience, it's important to have a high vibration. So if you could share some of your practices with us.
So that was definitely at the core of Archangel Michael's class or mentorship, as he mentored me. And he showed me really the power of our intent, of our visualization, of our feeling. However you operate, if you're a visual person, if you're auditory, if you're a feeling person, if you're a knowing person, they're all equally valid. But really feeling for love, feeling for joy, it feels good. And it needs to feel light. When it feels heavy, that's not high vibration. If it feels light, it's a higher vibration. But we can also determine or create the high vibration, which is in a way, there are many different ways that we can work with that works best for us. For example, we can meditate in the morning, right? Meditation raises our vibrational frequencies. Sound frequencies raise our vibrational frequencies. Joyful experiences, appreciation, recalling memories of appreciation also of joyful experiences. The food we eat, if we eat high vibrational food, plant-based food for example, has the highest vibration. If we, again, what do we feed ourselves, like in our body but also our mind, right? If we watch uplifting things and positive things, it raises our vibrational frequencies. If we watch something that's less than that, it lowers it, right? Also working with light rays, I found is very helpful. I'm really working a lot more with like visual things. So for me, it's easy to just fill an entire room with light, fill my entire self with light and raise it. Our intent is very powerful too. If we just simply say, I want to raise my vibrational frequencies now, and just wait and just keep higher, raising it and getting it higher and higher to the next levels. Imagine it like a scale, like go from level 3 to 4 to 5 to all the way to 15 or 20, as much as it takes, and continue to put that intent forth. And then also, of course, crystals are a good way to raise our vibrational frequencies.
I noticed that you have a crystal in your hand, a beautiful crystal, and I wanted to ask you, how is influencing your work?
Yeah,
a crystal.
I think the crystal realm is really here to assist us in our ascension, in our work, in our service, in our own spiritual growth. They each have an individual vibrational frequency,
yes,
and they are also a consciousness. So each crystal is a consciousness, a being. And if you wish to connect with a crystal, simply imagine that there is a being of light in there and it wants to talk with you. Just imagine it.
This is the way you're channeling a crystal?
Yes. It is, our imagination is the bridge at first,
yes,
and then it comes back with information that we can't imagine. So we have to do that first step by imagining it first, that there's a being in there, which is true. It's a consciousness of an energy, a vibration. And then we really relax and we just tune in. We ask this being questions. We say, why are you meant to work with me? Are you supposed to be with me, right? And it can be just a knowing, the way the answer comes in. We can see it, we can hear it.
Yeah.
All depends how we operate, and it is all equally valid. And so some beings are really meant to work with us and guide us. Some of the crystals are record keepers. They store records and information.
And how do we access that information? Is exactly like you said before, or there are also other techniques?
So many, like millions of years ago, let's put it that way, and along the way, either civilizations have stored information in crystals, because they're like computers actually, and if most of us know that actually in every computer is a crystal, by the way. So
we start using it then.
Yeah, so crystals can store information, and when we are meant to connect with a crystal, when we're meant to work with a crystal, and it just feels right, okay, when you hold a crystal and it doesn't feel right and not much happens within us, it's not meant for us. Just put it back. Or you connect with a crystal and immediately you have some sort of a sensation, right? Something happens. You either feel better, you feel warmth, you feel love, you feel humming in your body maybe, or you see things, or you hear something, maybe the ringing in your ears goes up, and that is a really good indicator to know, ooh, there's a connection here with this crystal. So when you wish to download the information that you're supposed to receive, there are different things that you can do. You can sit with the crystal and meditate and ask for the information to be downloaded. You can also put it next to your bed and allow it to work in your dream time. This one particularly here is a Lim Orion crystal. It's called a Lim Orion seed crystal.
Yeah, we work with them.
Yeah, and so these crystals, they have been found in the mines of Brazil, and usually crystals grow in clusters, and you would have to break them off the cluster to have it. But the unique thing about the Lim Orion crystals is that they have been found laying loose in the ground as they were mining them, and as they found them loosely in the earth. And the unique thing is the striations on these crystals. And the Lim Orion civilization used these crystals a lot as record keepers and as to store information. And if you wish to kind of unlock the information, if it is meant for you, and if it is in alignment with you, then you can meditate and you can run your fingers over the striations and begin to receive what you are meant to receive at that time. And it can also happen over time, that you several times over time. You connect with the crystal and you can run your fingers over it. And some of the crystals also have these little cutouts in a way, especially the Lim Orion.
Is there any problem if a crystal is broken or
it depends really. These particular cutouts,
yes,
they have been done by the Lim Orion civilization, for example, and many times you can feel guided to just put your thumb or your finger around it. It's kind of like a key, a little bit, like it connects with you and it uploads more information as well. And so there are many different things that can be discovered about crystals, really.
It's an entire world of crystals, but we just have very few minutes, and I would like to ask you something. How do we know who you're meant to work with when we talk about guardians, ascended masters, for example?
Or angels, galactic beings.
Yes.
It happens in many different ways, I would say. For example, sometimes the ascended masters or the beings of light, whoever that is, they begin to introduce themselves to you, and you will begin perhaps to see them everywhere. Like you go online, and you see them pop up everywhere. This particular ascended master, and you see maybe channelings of this ascended master, and it just is everywhere. You cannot outrun it. That's one way that ascended masters or other beings of light begin to introduce themselves to you. They offer their service to you and just say, we are happy to work with you. And then also you can consciously intend to find out who is on your team of light. Like I said earlier, I have a team of light I'm working with. I know exactly who they are, the energies, and I'm working very closely with them. And so you can really go into a meditative state and begin to ask, okay, I'm now calling in my team of light, who is coming forth, and really take your time with it. And at first, some people begin to see a color at first, especially with angels, for example. If you're connecting with Archangel Raphael, you might see a green color at first, or Archangel Michael, a blue color, a silvery color. And so this is one way of really bringing them in, and then ask questions. Don't only sit there and think, oh, they're here, what am I going to do? Ask them, who are you, and what is our work together? What is our collaboration? Begin asking questions, because that strengthens the connection, really, and it will also be then revealed to you again in the physical world. Like, let's say you make your intent, I want to find out who I'm supposed to work with, and let's say nothing comes back in your meditation, but you go throughout your day and it pops up again everywhere you go. You might again see Archangel Gabriel everywhere you go, or Saint Germain, or other beings of light, or galactic civilizations of light. And so that's how it happens, really.
I would like to follow up this conversation somehow. We will stop a little bit here, just for us, just for a few moments, because we will start a different topic, and I'll switch a little bit in Romanian. Dragi oameni frumoși, formatul nu ne permite să continuăm mai mult această emisiune, dar săptămâna viitoare vă așteptăm cu continuarea. Vom aloca o emisiune întreagă civilizațiilor galactice și de asemenea Asara ne va introduce puțin în lumea channeling-ului, în transă. Vom avea ocazia să intrăm în conectare directă cu membrii din diferite civilizații și vom afla mai multe lucruri despre ei și despre ce ne poate interesa pe noi. Până atunci însă vă doresc o seară frumoasă și pe curând!